YouTube, what's up, baby? We back in this thing again for another review. This is Q's Insight. I am Callie, and today we're going to be talking about Stranger Things Season 4, Episode 6, entitled The Dive. Alright, now if you've been in the channel before, you already know how we do it. We started off with the premise, 3 favorite scenes, the grade, and then we just move on to the next one, alright? So, again, Stranger Things Season 4, Episode 6, entitled The Dive. Alright, now for this one, we start off with the cops, and they're coming to the murder scene of, where Patrick died when they were at the little, the lake at Rick's house. And then we get the cops questioning Jason about, what happened, you feel me, and, where was Eddie when Patrick died and everything like that, and Jason's on this whole thing about, no, well, Eddie sold his soul to the devil, and so he's just a vessel for Satan, and that he has all these special powers also. I'm like, bro, you are a fool, bro. You are a fool. Stop it. Please, kill yourself. Anyways, so we go back to the water, after the question, we go back to this. It's still dark and stuff like that. The camera delves into the water, and we see this fish swimming at the bottom of the lake, and then his tentacle shoots up and it grabs the fish, and you're like, what the heck, That's like one of Vecna's tentacles. Like, how is it in the real world? You know what I'm saying? So then from there, we go to General Sullivan, and he's torturing and questioning the agent that was left at Will's house. You know what I'm saying? And he's asking questions about Elle. Do you know her whereabouts? Whatever it may be. And then the dude says, he doesn't know or whatever. So they continue to torture him. And then we actually do see Elle, and she's with Dr. Martin, and he explains why they're making her relive her memories. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, it's basic. We already talked about this in the last video. It's just basically so that she can remember something that will trigger her powers back. You know what I'm saying? So he just basically is explaining that to her again. And then from there, we see Eddie, and, he escaped from that scenario where Jason was after him, and then, Patrick died, and the rest of the basketball crew was over there on the shore and stuff like that. He escaped from that area, and he went to, what was it, like school, some type of, rock area, whatever. So Dustin and the crew realized that Eddie's not at Rick's house because they were actually going to go there to drop off some groceries, and they end up seeing the cops there. So they realize that he's most likely gone. And then the cops, they go on the news and they report that Patrick died, and they also reveal that, they're looking for Eddie, and Eddie's going to be in question, you know what I'm saying, for the death of Patrick and probably the death of Chrissy. So Eddie gets in contact with Dustin and the crew, and he tells them, where to meet up at. Like I said, it's like some rock place, like Skull Rock, something like that. I don't know, man. So the crew is going to meet up with Eddie. Mike, Will, Jonathan, Argyle, all of them, you know what I'm saying? They go to Susie's house, and it's a lot of crazy stuff going over there, but they go to Susie's house to get her help. And then we go from there to Joyce and Murray, and they're trying to figure out what to do about the situation that they've been put into, as far as, being in the snow, not knowing where they're at, just being in the middle of nowhere, just all this stuff. They got to figure out a way to get to Jim, and they got to figure out a way to get to safety. So Joyce and Murray they basically make Yuri help them. And then from there we see they make him help. They make him help them to get to somewhere safe and to get to where Jim is. So that's what that was. And then from there we see Jim and Antov and the other men that were in the cells with them, whatever it may be, or right next to them, and they get treated good. They get this good food, this last good meal, and usually when you treat a prisoner like that, that means that they're about to die. You know what I'm saying? So that don't just happen out the blue, because they had a feast ready for these guys, and but Jim explains to them that this is going to be their last meal, and he explains to them that he knows of the monster they're talking about, the Demogorgon, and he's like, yeah, so enjoy your last meal if that's what you want to do. And all the dudes were all high up on moral because of having the food, and then talking about there's a monster that's going to get us, whatever it may be, but we're going to all stick together and da 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 da. And Jim just kind of broke that down. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, yeah, it ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? Um, then we see Elle again in her dream / memory, and she's talking to the mysterious doctor. I don't know his name. I wish I knew his name, but I don't know his name. And she ends up talking to him, or he ends up talking to her about one. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, blah, blah, blah. But there's one. And he ends up talking to her about one, and she's like, well, Papa said that he doesn't exist. And then he says, well, everything that your Papa says is not always true. I knew one, and you remind me of him. You need to remember a memory that makes you sad and mad, and most likely you'll get your powers back. Because that's how he says that's what one did. So anyways, Dustin and the crew, they meet up with Eddie at the rock formation. And then after that, we get this scene where the townspeople are all at the town center per se, and they're talking to the cops, questioning them about these deaths and what's been going on, questioning them about, like, if you knew that Eddie, or you thought that Eddie was a killer, why are we just figuring this out now? And then Jason comes in and tells them, hey, they don't want to tell you the truth, and Eddie's a Satanist, and why do you think all these crazy things have been happening to this town for years, and you've been leaving it up to the cops to do things for us, and they're not doing anything for us, so we need to take it in our own hands, and we need to go make change happen ourselves. And so now he's got the town folks behind him, getting ready to go hunt the Hellfire Club. It makes me sick, man. So from there we get Mike and the crew, and they tell Susie exactly what's going on, what's happening, and she does agree to help them to figure out, decode with this whole computer numbers and what the computer was saying and all stuff like that. She helps them decode that. And then we see that Dustin and Eddie, Steve, Robin, Nancy, whatever, what I'm saying, they're all at the rock place, whatever it was, Skull Rock, whatever it is, and they end up finding out that the compass was leading them the opposite way of the Skull Rock place, but it was leading them the opposite way because there's some type of like magnetic field going on. So, and then Dustin's like, if you remember, when the Demogorgons would come out, whatever it may be, the door to the other side, the upside down place, there would be a magnetic field there. So he's like, there has to be something this way. So they go the opposite way of the skull place, and they figure out that like possibly if we go there, we follow it right, there may be some type of opening where we can go reach Vecna without having 11 opening up a door for us. You know what I'm saying? So that's what they do. They start heading down that way to try to figure out where the magnetic field is exactly and if there is an opening to the upside down. Then we go back to Elle's memory, and Dr. Martin holds this competition between all the subjects, to where in which he draws two circles, tells them to not leave the circle, and he puts two subjects. He puts one subject in each circle, and then they have to go against each other, and they have to basically mind push each other out of the circle. Whoever wins, whoever's the last standing, gets an extra hour in the rainbow room. But yeah, so there's just one guy that's like, seems to be the strongest with this type of power, and he ends up getting to the end, and then Elle goes against him, and then Elle wins. She remembers the memory of her mother coming in to see her, and then also, that's a sad memory. Plus, it makes her mad because she finds out, like I said, like that Papa, per se, Dr. Martin, has been lying about things. He's been lying about one. He's been lying to her about certain things. He's been lying about her mother being dead. So it's like, it just all culminates into one situation, and she ends up winning the competition. She ends up, blowing the guy back out of the circle. So she gets an extra hour in the rainbow room. But she does, the mysterious doctor, whatever, he tells her good luck. And just from that, it kind of probably rejogs her memory. Like, I got to remember that memory that he told me to remember, so that way I can win. You know what I'm saying? So he helped her out, definitely. So then we get Yuri leading Joyce and Murray to his safe house, where in which, like an episode ago, Jim was actually there. So he leads them to the safe house. There's weapons there, there's food there, whatever it may be, and of course they're safe. And then they make their plan to go get Jim. And what it's going to be is that Murray's going to play Yuri, like he's going to take Yuri's role, and then Yuri's going to have to end up being like the prisoner that, Murray would actually be. They're going to sneak them, they're going to, Joyce, Murray, and Yuri will go to the camp, because Yuri's supposed to turn in Murray and Joyce that day anyway. So he's like, you know what, we'll just do that. I'll pretend like, I'm Yuri, and then I'll walk you two in, and then we'll be able to get Jim, and da-da-da-da. So that's the whole plan for that. So what ends up happening is Jim and Antoff end up having this fight, and it's purposely done by Jim. Antoff doesn't exactly know what he was doing, but it was purposely done by Jim. And what Jim does is he has some liquor from earlier, from when they were having that food, and then he also stole one of the guards' lighters. So now with this, he can create fire, and he lets the other men know that it's going to be with him when they go against the Demogorgon. He lets them know that the only weakness that they have is fire. So now we got fire. We stand a chance to win. And then we go back to Susie, and through searching and using the computer and everything like that, she ends up finding out that, where Elle is that she's in Nevada. So now they got to head to Nevada. And then from there we go to the cops, find out that, Dustin and the crew are at Stone Rock. That's what it's called. They were at Stone Rock. So now the cops are headed down there. And even though Dustin and the crew have left Stone Rock, they're still within that vicinity, because they're still trying to look for that magnetic field or whatever it may be that may lead to an opening to the upside down. So they're still within the vicinity, but they're not exactly right at the at Stone Rock anymore. But still, with the cops going over there, it's gonna put them in a dangerous situation, because they could get found out by the cops at any time. So anyways, Nancy, Robin, Eddie, and Steve, they go on this boat in order to keep looking for this magnetic field, and they're following this compass. So the more crazier it gets, lets them know that they're in the right area. So they go on a boat. They tell, Max, Lucas, and Dustin to stay on the shore, and, just to wait till they get back. And then from there, we go back in Elle's memory / dream, per se. and Elle sees the mysterious doctor, and he's getting tased by these workers, and Dr. Martin is there as well, just looking on. So it's like, yo, like, what's going on? This dude only helped Elle. Why are you tasing him? Type stuff. Um, Sorry. And then Elle Elle is like headed back to her like room or whatever, but then she actually gets picked on by the other subjects, like three or four different people, and one of the persons, one of the people that one of the subjects that end up attacking her and is mad the most is actually the dude that she beat, the dude that's like has been winning those type of mind games all the time, those that competition. He's always been winning, so now he's mad and flustered that somebody that didn't really have power to come out, and like he just feeling like second place per se, you know what I'm saying? So they all pick on her, they like force push her and all this other stuff like that. Dude pushes her against the wall, she starts bleeding, tells her, hey, if you tell Papa that we did this, then we're really gonna kill you, so you better keep your mouth shut. um um then from that we end up seeing glimpses of the younger version of Elle killing subjects, and then she actually wakes up. And then from there, we go back to Eddie and the crew on a boat, and they get close to the opening of where the upside down opening is, right? So Steve jumps off the boat into the water, and he swims all the way down to the bottom of the lake, and he ends up finding that there is an opening to the upside down. Um, and then Lucas, Max, and Dustin end up having to hide out, because they're on the shore. They end up having to hide out because the cops are on their trail now. Um, and then Steve swims back up to the surface, is talking to Eddie, Robin, and Nancy, but he's still like in the water. He's telling them like, I did find the opening or whatever it may be, so we'll go back now. And before he can go back, there's this tentacle, probably Vecna's tentacle, whatever you want to say, pulls him down to the bottom of the ocean, and then pulls him through the upside down opening, and then he's in the upside down world now. And then because of that, what ends up happening is Nancy dives in after him, and then Robin dives in after her, and then Eddie dives in after her. So now they're all going to be going down to the bottom of the lake to the opening, and most likely will all be in the upside down world by the next episode. But we know for sure at this point Steven is there. They're still trying to get their way there. Or Steve is there. And then we end up going back to the shore, and we see that Dustin, Max, and Lucas are trying to run away from the cops, but Dustin ends up getting caught. And I don't know if Lucas and Max kept going when he got caught, or if they just stayed there like, you know what, he got caught, so we might as well stay with him, try to help him out, whatever it may be. I don't know what happened right there, but I do know that for sure that Dustin did get caught by the cops. And then we go back to Steve, and he's getting attacked by those bat creatures that were flying around. And yeah, he's gonna need some help. So hopefully, Eddie and Robin and Nancy are right behind him, because he needs help, bro. He's getting choked out. He's getting like stabbed on both sides of his torso. So it's like a crazy situation. But that's it for this episode as far as the premise. Three of my favorite scenes will be Elle's dreams. Her having a competition with one subject that was really good, and just delving deeper into these memories, because we never saw these scenarios take place like how we're doing now. And then my second favorite scene would be Jim and Antov. Once Antov finds out what Jim was trying to do, and he has the liquor, and he has the lighter, and now they have a way to fight against Demogorgon. I just like how they're building a relationship, they're building a friendship. Like, it's cool, it's really cool. I like it. And then my third favorite scene would be Steve and the bats, bro. Steve tried to swing at them, bro. He got a few of them. Then they was like, nah, bro, you about to get choked out. One of them grabbed him with his tail, choked him out. Then he laid out on the ground. Then the other two came and started just like sticking him right in his torso. I was like, yo, like, this is crazy, bro. But that'll be three of my favorite scenes. The grade for this, I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. So definitely not a bad episode. Definitely above average. All right, so you should definitely check it out. If you guys saw the episode, let me know what you guys thought about it in the comments down below, all right? Please remember to like, subscribe, and share. As always, this is Q's Insight. I am Callie. Until next time.